It's Mariama Bojang. As always, we have important personalities that we get to discuss very important issues that is very important for the development of Gambian football. And today will be no exception, as I have a very important, or rather two important personalities that will be very vital for the development of Gambian football, because we all know FIFA has introduced a new thing, and it's called safeguarding, and we'll be talking about that precisely. And of course, Super Sunday rather, it was in the Female League, very exciting. And of course, we all know that we have a new champion when it comes to the KM football yesterday as well. That plus more on today's edition of the Football House Update here with me, Mariama Bojang. And of course, I have my producers in the house already. I just want to give them a big thumbs up for putting this together. But first, I'd like to introduce my guest here on the platform. Senior Senior Football Women's Coordinator here at the Football House. Sini, it's always a pleasure to have you here, always to have, the development of women's football here in the country. You're welcome to this platform.
Thank you very much, Mariama, and I'm very much happy that I'm given the privilege to be here today again, which is much excited for me to talk about issues with regards to safeguarding today, and also some tips of women's football. And this is something that I'm looking forward to have a very wonderful discussion with my colleague, Mohamed Sinera.
Yes, that is Sini, aka Messi. My daddy yes. been calling her Messi since she worked in here in the studios. Mohamed Sinera is the logistics manager at the officer at the competition department, and also I'll be introducing his role when it comes to safeguarding here in the Gambia. Mohamed, you're welcome to the platform.
Thank you, Mariam. Good morning to listeners. I'm very excited to be here. Like my sister said, we'll be talking about the calf safeguarding appointments, as we all know. So I think as it goes on, we'll listen to what you're going to ask me, inshallah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Mohamed is one of those energetic young personalities we have at the Football House, always making sure things are put in place to make sure football has a headway here in the country. Saying congratulations first before we get to the discussions. CAF safeguarding officers, we are made to understand that you and Sinera have been appointed here when it comes to the country representatives for the CAF safeguarding. First off, tell us, when we say CAF safeguarding, what are we exactly talking about?
Thank you very much, which is a very important question. Before CAF started the safeguarding, the FIFA have started to establish the safeguarding for the first time to the member associations, which Gambia also is part of, which myself, I'm the one who represented. The GFF nominated me through the president to do the safeguarding essential course for 2 years. And this FIFA essential course before safeguarding, because the CAF people were part of the safeguarding essential course when we went to the UK for the residential one. We have been doing it online. And this is something that is very much one of the key priorities when it comes to the FIFA 4.3. You can see the top 5 priorities, FIFA safeguarding is there. Why? Is because they want to see how best we can protect the vulnerable, because the game is growing. So the more game is growing, the more they're having more female, more especially on the female side. Yes, I'm a female senior women's football coordinator, but that doesn't mean only the women's side needs to be having the safeguarding. That's why also Mohamed Sinera is here to play a very important role when it comes to the male side. So you can see having that safeguarding program to see how best member associations also can learn more about safeguarding and how best they can protect the vulnerable, that is the young grassroots football players, being a female or being a male football player. So these are things that we have the discussion and how best we can have the risk management, because we touch in different areas. And some of the areas which is like in 5 areas, some of them is also how developing engaging external stakeholders with regards to safeguarding. What we mean about that is how to engage external stakeholders and parents to develop the effective safeguarding culture. Because this is one of the most important pillars when it comes to safeguarding, because every country here have a culture. And what's happening in Gambia and what's happening in Guinea-Bissau is different. How we brought up in Gambia, how we were brought up in Congo is different. So everybody have your own safeguarding culture. even organizational culture, we learn in management. So this also applies to safeguarding. So we also touch also on the policies, because safeguarding also is guided by policies, how best we can, because it's something like has to do with something, some similar things like in the legal side, because some cases you have to go to the police, and it has to be which our mandate stops, because everywhere have your own limited mandates too. So also identifying managing risks. These are some of the areas also that not only myself and Mohammed Sina need to identify, but all of you part of it. Because you might see certain scenarios which we are not given the privilege to see it. So you'll be like saying, Mohammed, I've seen some areas, I've seen some things happening. It's not only about like sexual or certain like sexual harassment. Most of the time when we talk about safeguarding, they're always saying, oh, it's always sexual harassment. No, we have different types of sexual harassment. We have the abuse, abuse also, if you're talking about it, we think it's only about giving the sexual abuse. Not only that, but you can use abuse of words and so on. So these are also the areas also we have, like approaching also safeguarding concern, like reporting and managing safeguarding. How are we going to see best the people who have the kind of seen the similar risk management, how they can be reporting to us. And we also, how we're going to manage that kind of report when it comes to safeguarding. So these are some of the things also that we would really like to focus on, me and my scenario. We have started engaging each other, the policies, or also the engagement of certain things, how we're going to try to engage the stakeholders to give them the know-how, what is safeguarding first before we start the process. So these are some of the things that I will start with.
Thank you very much, Saini. Coming to Sinera, when we talk about safeguarding or when we talk about harassment and abuse, most of the time we tend to focus more on the girl and the woman when it comes to issues like that. Now that you are the CAF safeguarding officer here in the country, how do you intend to tackle this at your own level, especially with the young boys and guys playing football in the country?
Okay, Mariama, thank you. I'm happy to be appointed as the CAF safeguarding officer for the Gambia Mail. Even though I'm new in it, but it's a privilege. I thank the Gambian stakeholders, the GFF executive members, and then the staff in the federation. I'm not the best, but I know it's the trust and then the belief, the professionalism and then the integrity that I've been trusted with to tackle this or to take this job. Coming to your question, I think it's very important, everybody working in football, that we are safe. And then when you talk about what is safeguarding, it's about protecting the citizens from being harmed, from abuse, they are from being protected from any kind of abuse that, for them to live and in a free life environment, so which is the target. So I'm much happier it's happening, people like us, in football you can see any type of abuse, it's not even about only the male side or the female side, but the male also sometimes you can come across it, when you are playing in these grounds, sometimes the way the coaches or the administrators, actually
the players,
colleagues, the players in the field also, we are all seeing that. So I think it's something which has to be implemented, and then I think it's something we all have to be prepared for it, because it's something beyond for FIFA or CAF. It's not taking it light, So all the member association, it's a must. They have to appoint CAF male safeguarding officer and then the female. So I'm much more happier, I'm learning from it, so not like my sister, so she has been there with FIFA, and then I think she have a diploma in it, which I'm also starting to be the beginner of it. I started it last week.
The online course.
Yeah,
course.
diploma.
Alhamdulillah, I'm trying to have the inside of it.
I'm sure you wouldn't have a problem with the online,
inshallah.
Because Sinera is
He's
very
spot
familiar.
on. He's spot on everything.
He's very familiar with online
good.
stuff. Yes.
So that's it basically. I'm happy that this thing is around. So I think we can all do it for the meantime. Like I said, I'm learning on it. So I'm willing to give out also, and then take learn from some people who are okay, they have the knowledge of it, inshallah.
Absolutely, very important. When we talk about safeguarding, it has to do with exploitation, trafficking, and all of that stuff. Most of the time, we see people take young boys, out of this country and all of that, take them to Europe and other places to play football. How do you intend to work with certain agents when it comes to issues like that? Because sometimes these boys don't even have permission to be out of the country, and bam, we just see them out there playing football, or sometimes they have difficulties, they have to be returned back to the Gambia.
Like I said, it's something we all have to be very watchful, and then to stop these trafficking players going outside the country, which that it's not good for the player himself, the country, and then the sport in general. So those kind of things, I think that's why the CAF and then the federation see it deep necessary, because things like this has been happening. So it has to come, and then we implement some of these issues to tackle them, to prevent those kind of things happening. So like I said, we are still learning on it, and then I think that by the time we'll be getting there, inshallah.
Seni, very important there from Sinera. First, FIFA has a mission when it comes to safeguarding, and the mission is to protect its integrity, to bring the game to all as part of their efforts to make sure this is from division is from 2020 to 2023, and already we are in 2023. You attending some of these courses at a more professional level, what do you think what kind of changes do you think the safeguarding will get to football, especially with the young girls and ladies, when it comes to professionalizing their game?
Yeah, it will make them it will make them more comfortable, because why we are all here today having this kind of interview, because we are safeguard. We have our security officers there. Whoever is trying to come in here, we will be protected. And not only by that protected, but also like when it comes to our image, when it comes to everything. And this is one of the key areas that I think FIFA is really trying to, but they are much focusing when it comes to the grassroots, most especially in women's football, because why? Because we are vulnerable. And you can see in FIFA, I will not mention the name, but there is a case going on with one of the teams, national teams, that the coach is suspended because they have a case that they have seen that the coach have do an act of abuse, and which they are not very happy about it. Most especially, they would also, you can even see the under 20 who went to the under 20 World Cup. They have that kind of safeguarding training. They also have that kind of a brief discussion about what is safeguarding, because many people will be new to them. Safeguarding is happening every day. I always give this example, like when it comes to because you will see the president of the GFF, or president Mr. Lamin Kababajo, and the vice president, they all have these ideas about, even the general secretary, they all have learning about the safeguard, because they know how important is it. I give always this scenario, like when we were having the national women's team, we were having, before we were establishing, we were having male physiotherapists, we were having male doctors. And now you can see the changes for the past 2-3 years. We have female doctors and physios. Why? Because he tried to see that women's football need to be protected, because we are women and we are also vulnerable. So these are some of the things also that FIFA want to see, that all the member associations will have players who will play in a very safe environment. Mohamed Sinara said that is very important if you're going, even at the national league level, at the grassroots level, at the academic level. That's why you are in first or second division, you are in academics, you need to be protected. Sometimes you will see some coaches will be insulting players or using some abusive, because it's the culture we are in. But we have to teach them that these are not things that we have to do. Because some of the players might be out of, sometimes it happens to me. I was a national team player before, I know how it feels. Some coach will be shout on you, which is not right. They will be insulting you.
I was coming to that. That is sometimes
even women's football,
it's very emotional. Sometimes it gets you down as a player.
So these are the things that we don't want to see. And sometimes we go deeper when it comes to like national team camping. Some of the players might not be comfortable to be, because I was a national player, I might not be comfortable to be with you in the same room. I might lodge that complaint that maybe the way you are, we don't have to be revealing everything deep down, but some of the things that we are facing some of the time in the national teams, which is very much important, that FIFA or CAF have to appoint every national team need to have a safeguarding officer. Every first and second division needs to have a safeguarding officer. Academies need to have that. So you will see they will protect. When it comes to just a few, like what you asked Mohamed Sina about these agents try to explore these players, young players outside. I think also, like I said earlier on when I was starting my introduction, that safeguarding is not about only me and Mohamed Sina to protect. Everyone needs to protect when it comes to safeguarding. Because when I give the example of the president about this doctors, he wasn't a safeguarding officer, but he's the president. He knows he has the responsibility to see something that he thinks it might be dangerous in the future. So he said, let me try to block this and make sure to give the safe environment to many young players. So alhamdulillah, you can see these are things that players are comfortable enough, because I might be a player and I would not like to have a male coach or a male physio to touch my legs or to massage it. I might not be comfortable with that. So you have the right to say, okay, I'm not comfortable with such, and I have to make sure that someone who I am comfortable with can touch me. It's your right to do that. So these are things also that we have to put into the players to know. But sometimes it makes a confusion that the right. Yes, this is my right, I have to, because sometimes we touch about a child's right and so on.
Right.
We go more on, because the first time we do the introduction, now we are coming to the middle of the discussion about the safeguarding and so on. People have to understand what is safeguarding all about. So some of the things like FIFA is taking it very seriously. That's why they put it in their priority, the 5 priority of FIFA 4.3, that safeguarding is something that member association and Gambia Football Federation is no exception. They have seen that this is very important, and they just make this has to be dealt with right now to make sure this. We have been doing this. I have said it in several Zoom calls, several programs, that we have been doing safeguarding. It's just that this is coming now from FIFA, but we have been doing safeguarding over and over, because we are dealing with the vulnerables, we are dealing with different 8 categories of women's football development, which is my area, and this I think that we have to see the support. And everybody here, Mariama, including you, you are safeguarding even. You are a guardian.
Just the concluded tournament, under 15 tournament that you were having at the Gold Project. Sometimes when the games are going on, I see you talk to the players. I'm like, okay, I like the fact that Sini is implementing, you know, what she learned from UK, and you know, and putting emphasis on the girls that they have to do this. They don't have to expose themselves to a certain level.
Very important. Yes. Because why? Because we created that environment for them. We said you have a dressing room. Yes. As a woman, you don't have to dress like, because our culture doesn't even allow it. Right. A woman to dress up openly. Yeah. Male coaches, because most of the female coaches are coached by male coaches. So we have to protect them, because they are all growing. Right. So from grass, some of them are beautiful players. I'm not saying that this is happening, but it's something that we have to protect. We have to manage the risks. Right. These managing the risks are protected young girls. That's why they have to go inside, dress very nice. If the coach is a male coach, you see them, I always drive away the coach, go and stand there. Yes. A senior player have to be inside with the coach, dress them good, on time, and then come out. Absolutely. And this is very important. Also, you can see even a male coach, sometimes we have a female coach being coaching in the male side. Also, we do the same. We go out and then allow the players to dress up, and then that's it. Right. So these are things that we have to protect the young ones.
Absolutely. And also, Sini, one of the things that FIFA I think is very important, they also identify young people over the age of 18, especially vulnerable groups who must be safeguarded when it comes to disabilities as well, which I feel is very, very important. Sometimes the disabilities are very vulnerable, and of course they tend to be sidelined, and FIFA is putting this on the forefront now. All these safeguarding officers have to make sure that they bring them forward and make sure that they consider them in certain situations.
Yes, these are a very important area, because you can even say, if you're doing the safeguarding essential core, which Mohamed Sina is crossing part on, you can see when we talk about the disabilities like bullying, we have some people. There's a player that I always admire. She's playing in the Star Division, which I really like myself. Sometimes you born up with certain things, so because she loved the game to play football, so she needs to be protected. Let me clarify this for people to understand what we mean about the vulnerable. When we talk about the vulnerable, are the people who are disadvantaged, not to have that kind of football. And then you are a woman like me, I don't have those powers to protect myself in certain danger. Like Mohamed Sina right now, I would not call Mohamed Sina like a vulnerable, because Mohamed Sina will protect himself with certain mentally, like he is there, physically he is strong, like Omar and so on. But myself, I cannot protect myself in certain areas. Like a young person also, at the age of 10, 12, 15, you cannot protect yourself when it comes to sexual abuse. Sometimes we see most of the cases, I was following one cases in Senegal, like an Ustaz, you know, having a sexual contract with like 20 kids or 15 kids. They are all vulnerable, because they might be you know, fool very easily because they are girls, so you can give them something cheap and then they will have that because they will not understand the danger that they are putting themselves in. So these are the people that we are calling them vulnerable. Like a disability, they cannot be able to fight. So these are the things that we call them vulnerable. Many people are just wondering what they're talking about, vulnerable. So these are the people that don't have an advantage to protect themselves in certain danger. So that's why FIFA is really putting an emphasis that they have to be protected. They have to be protected by people. So us, sometimes, myself, I might be vulnerable and I'll be protected by Mohamed Sinara. So here I have a bodyguard also. For me also, I have someone who is protecting me here. Because I might be going somewhere as a woman. It's true, I might be a woman going to say certain things about safeguarding and I might not be listening to, I might not be giving that attention, I'm not giving that support. And Mohamed will protect me and said, look, she has to be listening to us, she has to be, you know, take seriously. So these are the things that we have to see. These are the people that we have to support. And then you can see the disability, like the deaf, and then this ability that you can see the federation, the president always give them the support. These are the people that giving them support and giving them they have to be part of. FIFA said, let them be part of you people. Give them the support that they need so that they will try to also grow, that they give them the motivation and they will be in a very safe environment. So these are very important areas, Mariama. This is a very, very important area when it comes to, and most especially I want to see everyone in football when it comes to stakeholder to give the support that we are on the mission and we need to be supported to make sure this thing need to be constituted in all the first, second division, under 15, under 20 academies, and everyone who is playing, even street football, need to be protected.
Absolutely. Just like Saini said, we have more, of course, male players in the Gambia than female footballers. When it comes to protecting and, of course, avoiding them being bullied and all of that, what will your office do? Because when it comes to being vulnerable, it's very sensitive, and we tend to give special attention. We have seen in the male division as well, you know, legi player that then wala do they so much energy like colleagues and all of that stuff, but we still keep bullying them and all of, to a certain level they stop playing football, and that has to stop at some end. So safeguard, as being the safeguarding officer here in the Gambia, what will be your role exactly? What kind of sensitization will you do, especially when you want to link up with organizations that are responsible for child care center here?
Yeah, Mariama, thank you for that question. I think one has to believe in himself that, okay, I can do it. I cannot leave myself for someone to bully me. You should have confidence in yourself. That's why, like I said, I'm much more trying to get quick, to get learn from this course, and then to implement what I also understand from it. To the general public, and then especially to the clubs and the academics. You know. So like I said, I'm much more waiting. So Saini has more knowledge of this thing more.
Right.
So I'm also going on a course with it. So like I said, as I'm going, I'm learning more from it. Try to get it to the people who need it more. Yeah.
Saini, in 2021, FIFA teamed up with the World Health Organization to raise awareness against domestic violence and support those at risk during the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. When it comes to your responsibilities in the Gambia, do you intend to collaborate with certain organizations to make sure you support these young girls and ladies playing football in the country?
Yes.
In terms of safeguarding?
Yes. GFF started a pre-discussion with CPA, Child Protection Alliance. I also attended one of their courses that they were establishing the policy, which I was invited to throw my expertise on the document, and which was very fruitful for 3 days course, headed by Lamin Fati. And these are things that we really want to see, and GFF also to do, that we have to, because I also have a discussion, a pre-discussion with the General Secretary and Mohamed Sinara himself, where we're going to start with the stakeholders first, because what we have to do is try to introduce, because some of them have more expertise, more knowledge about, because they've been there for years, you know, having deep down in the safeguard area. We have to engage those people also to come together. And now, which I am also the trend, because FIFA, this is the first batch of its kind in the history of FIFA to have a safeguarding diploma guardians which will be graduating in October, to be a safeguarding experts, like having to teach outside a lot of member associations to see how best we can try to make sure to give them the kind of support when it comes to safeguarding, to build up the document which will be protect them when it comes to the policy, which is a very heavy one. Also, the relationship like we want to have outsiders, we are working on it, and then we want to see people like CPA. We want to have the kind of collaboration to make sure we have to deal with certain programs that we have, and they can even have some of the experts that they will have, they will come and teach us. But this is something that football is always having an advantage, because FIFA have an experts, very well experts. The head of FIFA safeguarding is called Marilo. She's a French lady. She is very much fluent, understands safeguarding very well. They are a team that have it. So we can even request those people to come to Gambia to have the kind of development trainings with the stakeholders. Myself, I can take courses when it comes to the grassroots side, with even the managers and even the high level. So now this is the thing that we want to establish, me and Mama Sunera, to see how best we can engage the stakeholders. First, what they need to do, we have to do an introduction. Introduction how? Introduction is what is safeguarding. What do people understand about safeguarding? Some people might understand safeguarding in a very negative way. That, okay, no, you are putting me myself into problem. It's just to protect. When it comes to safeguard, it's to protect. How are you going to help us to protect? And what I understand, also players need to understand certain risks. If they are coming to them, how will they protect themselves? So these are one of the key areas we want to engage the stakeholders. Myself, I spoke to Mohammed. I said, spoke to the third, fourth vice president, and to see how best we can have a discussion, like a forum, like 2 or 3 hours discussion when it comes to safeguarding, you know, safeguarding, I would call it safeguarding hour, because it's important for us to have a safeguarding hour. And we have it in the administration course last time, 2021. We have it. And it was a very, very interesting topic, because it took our time, like up to 2 hours we're discussing. And they took up, you know, very, very important cases. With myself, I was saying, wow. So you guys understand already about safeguarding. So this is about safeguarding. So how is it become protected? And they have taken steps that I am very much convinced that these people are really on top of the things. So what they need to understand at the professional level. And one of the key areas Mohammed Sinara started with his introduction is integrity. When we talk about safeguarding, it's very important. Integrity, professionality, and confidentiality. These are the 3 things that safeguarding person like us as safeguarding officers, we need to have that integrity, professionalism. Because sometimes we might have something emotional. We have a discussion with Dalmia Mohammed. I said to him, sometimes I might handle a case which come to my aid and then said, I have to deal with this. And I was very emotional because I'm a mother.
Case management,
and how, yes, I asked that question when I was in UK. I said, how will I deal with that situation? I have a partner. He might be strong and said, okay, Saini, let me take over this case and say how best I will help you. That's why we are partners. So these are the issues that, you know, sometimes come up, and because we are, you know, human beings, we have some emotions and so on.
Yeah. You've already spoken about case management. Are there any risks involved when it comes to safeguarding? Because sometimes Ibrahima might be involved in a certain situation, and if you want to protect Ibrahima, you know, there are people out there who might want to attack you directly and all of that stuff. What are the risks involved in this?
Yes, sometimes the risks we say, like, I'm saying something. Sometimes, and this is a very sensitive area. I am seeing Mohammed Sinara as a young person is bullied every time by his coach or by her coach, and I'm keeping quiet. And I'm keeping quiet. I have to, like, in a very, if I say professionalism, in a very professional way, how I would engage the coach. That's why also, even now, CAF and FIFA in their coaching courses, safeguarding must be part of the syllabus. Why? Because it's important for also the coaches to understand the importance. Sometimes how would they behave? So this is the thing that I will be saying, okay, I'm seeing Mohammed Sinara is been bullied, he's been discriminated, and I'm keeping quiet, which will involve more risk. He's in a risk. So it might go in a path that it will cause a very bad scandal, and which we don't want that to happen. We have seen a national team also play like a coach, not recently, but previous when we were having the qualifiers, that a coach was the federation have taken a very serious step. It's not Gambia. People quote me wrong. It's not Gambia. It's a country that having a women's football national team that the coach has to be suspended indefinitely.
Wow.
Because the person have done something very serious, sexual harassment, which is very. This is not something. That's why they say it's go with integrity.
Right.
We even say this rape case is outside. It's not even joke in an article. That's why even because all the policies we have to make when it comes to football policy has to be in line with the national policy when it comes to safeguarding. It has to be in line. It has to be governed by that.
Makes it easier.
It makes it very easier. Because sometimes you might see some case that a parent will take a coach, something might happen, and the parents will take the coach directly to the police. So that one, as a safeguarding officer, we also have a limit. We might not go beyond that. That's a legal side. We might not go beyond that. So we might be called by questioning, okay, what do you understand by this case, or what can happen? But when it comes to go to the legal matter, that's why whenever we have, that's why people are saying, let's bring the safeguardians so that they will make sure to avoid those risks. Those risks shouldn't happen. And how we're going to avoid those? How we're going to avoid those things is how we have to talk to the player. We have to talk to the. That's why always we have to be available when it comes to training grounds, matches. We have to be there because people don't have to be explaining to us. We have to see it.
You have to see evidence.
We have to see the evidence.
Right.
So this I think, and also even the risk management. We will prepare a form that we will put in. Some people might not be comfortable to come to say to Mohamed Sinena to expose.
To talk to you, yeah.
But you will write and said, you will not mention name, but this and this, okay, this particular team is abusing so-so player. And not only coaches, let me be frank enough, this involves everyone in football. Even referees can harass players. It's not only about coaches. They always say coaches or administrators, even referees, even medics. Everyone involved in football might face the same thing or might face these things. Even myself might face abuse, might face harassment. So it's important for us to know these are the issues. So it's very wide. So that's why I think we have to step by step for people to understand exactly what's happening and what should be done. Because even there's a clause that we have to discuss about child's rights, which is very difficult to put in to the Gambian culture. This is why I said every country have a culture. Because what we believe is that sometimes, let me give you this scenario. Sometimes if my kids did something very bad, if I try to beat and look at my brother, I said, I am a safeguarding officer. I don't have to beat.
You don't have to beat.
Because these are things that we know about our culture.
Right.
So sometimes also this some people might beat some of their kids mercilessly, and it leads to certain danger. The kids might die. We see some cases that the kid might be beaten and they will be dead. And some of them might lead to a serious injury. So these are things that we don't want to see in football, and we are hoping to see such cases will never happen in football.
It brings me to sensitization, talking to people, especially team owners and of course coaches, to sensitize them about safeguarding and how to protect and go about, talking to all of these young people that are into football, Mohamed.
Yeah, like Sandy said, that's why we have fast-tracked everything. Me and her, at least to meet the clubs earlier with the academics, so that we can put it to them what is safeguarding all about, how to go about it, or how to manage about it, to protect. How do we protect these young players? How do we protect even ourselves from being physical abuse? Neglect, is all part of self-neglect. Neglecting is all part of it, and then those are kind of areas we want to bring our safeguarding officers for the clubs, and then we ourselves here as staff, starting from, like Sani said, starting from the security guard down there, the cleaners, to all of us. Everyone has to be live in an environment where you are free to do anything without no hindrance to your job or whatever. So I think those kind of things, alhamdulillah, since our appointment, she has been helpful. At least I have so small knowledge of what is safeguarding all about. Me also, I don't like to sit and wait until you have to.
You like to do your special research
about some of these issues. So I'm very excited. I think together we can do this, and then it will work, inshallah.
I agree, Sani. Let's talk about the policy aspect. In the beginning of the program, you spoke about policy, which is very, very important. It needs to be aligned with certain policies that has to be done here with the national policy as well. How do you intend to work around as the, let's say, mediator between FIFA and the Gambia?
Yes, I engage the first vice president, which he is very vast when it comes to such areas, policy. And I also try to, because he was very busy when it comes to the U20 issue, just also to try to see, and the general secretary to see how best we can try, because I wrote already a report, and I also try to see how best the senior management, and also we have a group called TWG, how best we can try to form together and then start, because I will start a draft to see how best, and they will see how best they can make the document being in line with the national policy document. It's not an easy job, and it's something that we have to really establish, because that should be in line. It's just like a constitution of the GFF. So this one also is important for us to have. But so far, we will try to engage the first vice president, and also try to engage the secretary general, who is the head of the institution, to see how best he can help us to facilitate and start the document, which we have people who have the knowledge when it comes to such certain things in policy. But when we're talking at policy level also, we have to see it has to be something that it has to be done with the top management, to see how they can help to constitute those documents and so on. Because these are the policy things. When we talk about policy, and if the document is final, that's final. So we will work on it, we will coordinate that, and we will see how best. We have to be part of constituting the policy. Not like we have to just coordinate. We have to sit down and say, okay, we think this will be okay with it. Most especially myself, that I also learned some part of FIFA Safeguarding Learning Essential course in certain areas about the policy, how best we can constitute it and structure it. Because it's a kind of a bit different when it comes to certain policies, because this is something that is giving the support and the privilege and the protection of young ones coming. So that area will be, me and Mama Sina will ask for help through the executive, and then the head of the institution, that's the GFF, Secretary General, to see how best they can help us to start with this policy and then grow with it and then to constitute it.
The marketing aspect of it. Let's talk about the marketing aspect, because in everything you need to do, marketing is key when we talk about the safeguard as well. How do you intend to go about it? This for both of you.
Yes.
Mohammed?
Okay.
No? Say it,
okay. Yeah, the marketing side will be very interesting, which will involve the media side, because when it comes to the marketing, it deals with also promotion. So the marketing aspect is like, let's say it like this. We have in the final of the U17 girls coming this Saturday. So what we have to do is like, we can put something like, okay, sometimes UNICEF, you can see, let's protect our young girls. Let's safeguard our young girls. Let's safeguard and protect our environment. So these are the things that we need when it comes to marketing. Everybody have to see. And then if you see this marketing reminds people, and the promotion would remind people what is the importance of this, and how best people can try to be, much interested to see how it goes and how they will try to give the support. So when it comes to the marketing side, which the communication department really needs, we need their help, because we will also like to have this UN to have partners with us when it comes to, because they are always, when it comes to such kind of gender and then the safeguarding, because they have a special special person who is, because I have a contact with the person already to see how best they can, because they will be interested to have those things. So marketing is very important when it comes to that. And even CAF, when we have the online, Mohammed was there, when we have in the online, they were doing some presentation when it comes to the marketing aspect, which are very much key. They provide a video which shows that how best we will help them to safeguard. And where they have done the video, I was very much happy, because they use it with the women's football national teams when it comes to the AFCON side. So this is something that is very important for people to know, the importance of safeguarding, reminding them how best we can protect our young girls, our young boys, ourselves in our safeguarded environment. So which also we have to discuss about the marketing side when it comes to marketing and communication department, to see how best they will, most especially the communication department, to see how best they can help us. That's why it's important when it comes to even the GFF Women's League, to have that kind of brand, to have that kind of, it's important to have the brand. CAF already have it, and FIFA already have it. You can see their safeguarding logo. GFF also needs to have that, so that we can have the safeguarding logo when it comes to GFF. But right now, we will use the CAF and the FIFA safeguarding one. So which we will start. We might start it in the U17 final to see. We will have some discussion also how best we can train those kids when it comes to safeguarding.
I'm sure.
And marketing side.
I'm sure when you need the fan club members to come on board to make sure they do marketing for you, Mohammed will be very instrumental.
And he's a board member. I will even try to engage him to help me during my final, to help me with the fans club.
Fans club, exactly. Yes, exactly, for next week.
Yes, because they make people happy, and then
Absolutely.
You know, it will be a very nice program, which the kids will be very much excited to say,
right.
oh, this is very nice. Next time, saying we want to have such. So these are things that we want, you know.
Yeah, that would be very important. We don't have a lot of time left, but do we have any seminar or any courses that is coming up that you people will be taking care of, you people will be part of as safeguarding as well?
Like,
is there any seminar or workshop coming up for safeguarding?
Yeah, I think myself, I will be part of, I'm just waiting for FIFA because I have done the FIFA Safeguarding Essential Course. The FIFA Safeguarding Essential Course went to Module 1, Module 2, up to Module 5. And some, not everybody passed it, like, but Gambia Football Federation, who they nominated, that's myself, passed the module, and now we're waiting for the graduation.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We will have the Mohammed is on that process right now, and he's starting it with the essential module 1 to module 5, and this one also is something that will satisfy by FIFA because they will monitor him and said this is right because FIFA is monitoring. Fobia have done it for 2 years, and he will also go for that. So also we face some Zoom calls with them to see how best he will have some help and so on through the expertise. So yes, we don't know yet much, but hopefully in the future, very soon we will have such. Most especially, I would love Mohammed Sinana to have one of them. And CAF will have that, which I'm so, because I'm part of the FIFA Safeguarding Essential Cause group, WhatsApp group, which I'm so, Omar is there, which I have communication with him because he always sometimes engage us to see how best he can have some ideas and certain things, how best we are doing in our countries.
Right.
So these are one of the areas, because safeguarding is all about sensitization. It's just like a social worker.
Yeah.
We are always there to sensitize people what is safeguarding, how we're going to protect our young girls. It's just like Marire is coming. Ali Sankere Sang, Ali Dular Fita. It's about safeguarding. Safeguarding also, Ali Dindungol Project. Alkana Songina. So these are the things that we have to do. Alkana kuma jawol foye. Alkana neng. Ali nene. You know, nahlen. Ngen wahlen wah yo hamne. They will be comfortable.
Absolutely.
They will be. Sometimes you can see even some coaches. The kids will be more attached to those coaches because why? They are more cool.
Yeah.
They're
always smiling.
Always smiling with the kids. They always protect them. They always advise them. Don't do this. But some of the coaches, they're always frowning their faces. They're always insult. They're always bullying. And bullying is something that I really want to discourage. Bullying is not only about playing, but bullying like some kids, they don't like bullying. They hate bullying. And it gives them anxiety. It gives them something. Some players, we might not, I'm going to call names, but some of the things I always sometimes sit down and say, this player might be part of the players who've been bullied when he was young. Because you always see some players, they'll be keeping quiet, they're senior player, because they have faced certain things when they were young. And these are things we want to avoid. They are not social, because some of them are natural like that, but some of them are not natural like that because they have faced bullying when they were young. They faced some anxiety, some trauma when they were young with their
and they don't have anybody to talk to.
And they don't have anybody to talk to.
Right.
Mariama, you understand safeguarding.
Yeah,
so this is all about safeguarding. Yes.
So my last question on safeguarding before we go to the female league, Fat, what do you guys intend to achieve at the end of the day?
A project, a safeguarding side. This is what I want. I want everybody to be protected, to be in a very safe environment. This is what I want to say. Everybody to protect, you'll be protected, and you'll be in a safe environment. And then you'll be happy to play football, you'll be happy. There are also some technicalities when it comes to safeguarding. But that one, I will be happy if I have like technical director and Mohammed myself to be able to talk about more on, you know, some technicalities on the pitch, how best we can protect. Even sometimes the sun will be too hot, you might not use the players to play in that environment because they will not be protected. Some people might be fainting, or some people might not have some health issues. These are the technical side of it. So which also is very important when it comes to, sometimes some players will say, down lane, down your feet, you know, some people, all those things are protected, but these are the technical side of it. Maybe next time we will sit down and discuss about safeguarding when it comes to the technical side. So for me, what I want to achieve at the end of the day is how we will have a safe environment for everyone, not only players, myself, you, and everyone who are here, but especially the vulnerable who are really needed our support and guidance.
Absolutely. Mohammed?
Yeah, like Saini said, I think that's the aim, and I think that everybody must be ready for the attacks, and then to see that these things are put in place, everybody to be living in a very safe and free environment. You go in and play and have your match without no abuse or either physical or sexual, you know. So that's the aim, inshallah. So we are all ready to learn from it and then move on.
Interesting. Before we call it a day, a roundup of latest happenings on our Facebook page. And of course, Serekunda United are the champions of KM Regional 3rd Division League following a post-match penalty shootout defeat of LK Boys in a well-attended final played on Sunday, 9 July 2023. The two sides played out and 1-1 draw at full time, and Serekunda United proceeded to win the final 3-1 on post-match penalty shootout. Well, as champions, Serekunda United will represent the KM to join the Busumbala Sergeant Ding of West Coast Region and Medina United Academy of Banjo at the GFF Triangular Playoffs. Well, congratulations to Serekunda United for winning the KM Regional 3rd Divisional League, Asini.
Yeah, it was an exciting final. I was there yesterday, and I was really happy with the organization of KM Regional Sport Football Association.
Right.
And also to congratulate the president and the whole executive and the whole people who are working with KM, and also the GFF for giving the support to see the league is successfully implemented, and the final was played yesterday. It was a very exciting final.
Right.
The Latikuna boys scored first goal. It was a very nice goal. And second half, the Serekunda boys equalized, and then it went to post-match penalties, yeah. Which was, I was hearing many people were saying, this team, they are very good with penalties, and they have shown that they are very good with penalties. And it was something very excited, and I wish them all the best in the playoffs, and happy that things went very nice and people enjoyed it, because football is all about, you know, having the enjoyment, you know, fancy big name, Louis Amna celebration with the coach was my fan, because the coach, when the goal was scored, the way he ran, it was something that, you know. So anyway, congratulations to them, and congratulations to KM, headed by Mustafa.
Mohamed, KM, Serekunda United, going for the playoffs, yeah.
Serekunda is Serekunda United.
Serekunda United.
Okay, I can say that congratulations to them. Just like Medina, is it Medina FC?
Yes, Medina. Yeah, Medina United. San John Ding.
The finance director's team.
Right.
Oh, that's good. Congrats. No.
I think football is growing.
Yes.
Especially in the regions. So, congrats to all the winners. And I'm hoping for the best. Let the champion best win among them to join the second division this year also.
You know, when we talk about male football, it's a little excitement, but when we talk about female football, it's a super excitement. Now, it was a super Sunday yesterday, and yes, 20 goals were scored across the GFF First and Second Division League, and it was a super Sunday in the GFF domestic competition with a staggering 20 goals scored. 20 goals, Musna Amtif Male League. I don't think so. I don't remember. No. 20 goals in a single day. Yes. It's die. Mune Kujim, Akukomun.
Well,
we see a lot of goals. Yes. So 20 goals were scored in just in 5 matches. As leaders, Red Scorpion already secured the title with 2 goals to spare. Well, the serial champions successfully defended their title with a 11-goal to 0 thrashing of Joshua in Basori, with the league's top goal scorer Kumba Kuyate scoring a quadruple, with Fatu S. Fati and Maimuna Dukure both registered hat-tricks, with Fatu Matajame getting a goal. Where Red Scorpions are now with 46 points, 11 points more than second place Bera Wuleng on 35 points. Meanwhile, City Girls held second place Bera Wuleng to a 1-1 draw, with Khadija Tudrames scoring the only goal for Bera in the 30th minute before Sali Sedi can restore parity for the City Girls in the 58th minute. Well, our K Dabo and Delphina Manga were on score sheet as Abuka United registered a vital 2-0 win over Koita. Elsewhere, Gaf and Future B shared spoils in a thrilling 2-2 draw. Sanyang and of course Aissatou Conte scored for Future B, while Gaf's goal came through Fatou Dafe and its own goal by Fatou E. Marena. Catherine Jata continued her impressive form, helping third place Police beat Ratim 1-0 to close the gap on Berewuleng. Meanwhile, in the second division, Yakar Joko Saho scored a brace in a 2-1 win over Lower Nomi, with Rohi Danso getting the consolation for the NBR outfit. Immigration and Greater Tomorrow played out a nail-biting 2-2 draw. Dominga Silva and Fatou Suso scored for the security outfit, while Mariama Baji and Messinta Mendy netted for Greater Tomorrow. 20 goals, Seni, is a fantastic. It has been a fantastic league for the female league, both in the first and second division. Amazing goals scored. The tallies are just amazing, and these young girls keep improving themselves as the week goes by.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It has a very interesting week for women's football, but for me, I will defy a bit when it comes to goal scoring that much, because they say when you want to see more goals, come watch women's football. That's very right. It's very exciting for Red Scorpion for securing their another title for the first division women's league. But also, like you said, we are developing, we are growing every day, and we want to see the quality in first division team, first division league. Because I think 11 is too much when it comes to first division teams playing, scoring that kind of goals. Right. We want to see, when I watch interior, when I watch Red Scorpion and Berewuleng, those are the type of matches we want to see. 1-0 being tough, because that game was a very, very, very interesting, tough game. So this is what we call a strong development, because when we are trying to select the national team, these are the top things that we look at the quality of the two teams, how best, because some of them, one of the people calling me said, Seni, I think this is one of the teams that you will really consider some of the players who will join some of the national team, international players who are playing abroad to play in the senior team. I said, of course, yes, because they are one of the teams that they've proven themselves that they are very strong. Right. So, nonetheless, yes, because Kulamumoro Opadole. Red Scorpion, we know they are far ahead, stronger than Joshua United, and which they have demonstrated it by many goals. But what we want to see next year also is see Joshua also to try more. I think they're down. Not sure whether they are the top bottom with City Girls.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the table shortly.
Because we want to see more stronger teams in the next division. This time, which I am very much happy that developments will come in, and I'm seeing it's really, really.
They're bottom.
Yes, they're bottom. So, which I'm really much excited to see. Raptin really surprised, because this is what we call really strong river, because they beat last time Abuko United, but Abuko United paid back. Yesterday they paid back too, because if they lose that game, I'm sure they'll be battling with those people at the bottom. Right. So Future B also, they have proven themselves very well, because they are from second division coming to the first division, showing themselves that they are really strong. So these are things that we want to see when it comes to the first and second division coming up. It's very, very strong. And I'm very much excited to see those kind of teams coming up from the grassroots academy. Koita as well. Yeah. Koita is really
Koita is doing fantastic.
Koita is really, really doing great. And when it comes to even Mariama, third division team, when it comes to West Coast, I'm really, really happy when I saw those teams playing. And those people can compete, you know, in the second division, because it takes them. And the coaches are very passionate when it comes to seeing those players are really developed. That's why we only want to see them how best we can give them that knowledge to also elevate themselves more when it comes to coaching capacity. Right. And certain things when it comes to administering and managing the teams. So women's football really is taking a very good step forward, and we're having more teams coming up, we're having more players growing, we are making more sensitization to come. We are also drawing some programs to come see how best women's football having this kind of sensitization and awareness creation.
I like the fact that we're doing more appearance, you know, internationally as well. And that is fantastic.
Of course, that's why we are seeing now, because Gambia is known in FIFA.
Right.
If you ask Ariana, you ask Stu Bosipanda, one of the top people when it comes to women's football development, and they were here in Gambia. You ask Stu, who is one of the top expert when it comes to women's football in the whole world. No, Sarah Bremen also knows about women's football. CAF, even the Secretary General knows about women's football. Right now, before the program starts, you can see people are calling me, asking me ideas when it comes to women's football, how best they can go with certain things. Right. So far, this is very exciting. The National Women's League, alhamdulillah, we are closing up very soon, which played every year, alhamdulillah. And I give credit and kudos to the Gambia Football Federation headed by our president, Mr. Lam, who is very much passionate. And I can say he's the best first patronage when it comes to women's football.
Saini, I'll have you back here to talk about women's football, of course, before my producer. Of course.
My under 17 is closing up. The project is closing up this Saturday.
This Saturday. No problem, you'll be back.
Yes, and I'm urging everyone to come.
To come through,
communication department.
Yes.
I really love to see all of you.
We'll definitely be there.
Yes. And
what time is it starting?
It started at 10 o'clock on the 15th of July. We are having the finalists are Cobblers Football Academy from Penyem, and also we have Fortune FC from Farato, and I don't know, but I have seen West Coast have taken all. They are the finalists who are going. I always came to be there and maybe Banjul, one of the Banjul team. But so far it's football, and then they have proven themselves that they are doing very good when it comes to women's football. And credit has to go to them because they are doing very well. And also also third division league is also playing.
Right.
Also URR also are playing their third division team, which is really improving because the more we play the game, the more we are growing, the more we are getting very much stronger. So Saturday, be there. It will be a very exciting final. It's starting 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
So let's all come and watch. And it's the first time we're having this kind of women's football league. For the first time, JFF is constituting this when it comes to U17 girls women's league. We have the U15.
By the way,
I think this is
the
great.
tournament was
wonderful. You see, more goals were there because Fortune
18-0.
But that's grassroots. You can see
they are little girls.
So this is very exciting.
Right,
so women's football from the U17, from the U15, from the U17, from the U20, from the senior women's league, from the second division. So this is really exciting, and we want to see more of that kind of support. So we want to see more people supporting women's football. We want to see more people coming, and we give credit. Everything you have to give credit because there are people behind that giving the support. And I will always give the credit to the president. He is always supporting. I will give credit to the Women's Football Association headed by the first vice. So these are things that we always give. Even sometimes we have a meeting, they will say, look, women's football, let's start with them.
Right.
So these are things. So it left to us also how best we can try to be very much strong to see how best we can also give more support, more passion, more commitment, and more willingness to see we have more development because we want to see more people going playing international. We have Olawu Buaro. We have the determined guys now, Mbasi and Liberia. They are going for the CAF for the second time now. So this is a very exciting and this is a very great development for women's football. So I thank you and I thank you for the communication department.
Yeah, thank you very much, Saini. And of course, Mohammed, your last words.
Thank you for having us here. I think it's a great pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward for more of this, inshallah. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Thank you very much, Saini, for coming. It's been a fantastic and insightful discussion. Of course, I'd love to have you guys here and see how far you have gone, especially with the safeguarding and, of course, some of the discussion and pathways you have made when it comes to safeguarding here in the Gambia.
And women's football as well.
Of course, we are definitely doing women's football. Okay. Don't forget, this Saturday at the Gold Project, the final, don't miss it out. If football is your cup of tea, come watch these little girls. You'll be giving a lot of goals to be taken home as well. And we have a game today. Jumama is playing Brikama at the Soma Mini Stadium 4:30, and Mansawali will be playing Trust at Banjul Mini Stadium by 3 p.m. Those are the only two games we have today at the GFF Women's Second Division League today for the Gambian football lovers. And of course, thank you very much for always tuning in and watching this program. I want to conclude from a quote by Gianni Infantino for the safeguarding.
Yes.
And he said millions of children around the world are involved in football. What these children all have in common is the right to enjoy football in a safe environment, in a culture of respect and understanding. That is from Gianni Infantino. I have to make that to make sure everybody is giving that free space to make sure they enjoy football. My name is Mariama Bojang. I have a lot of producers in the house, but my number one producer in the house, of course, is Omar Ture. Omar Ture, my dad. Yes.
My friend.
Your friend, yes. Omar Thank you very much for putting this program together. Bakari Burama Balde, Mariama Koma, Master E, my special friend. You know,
yes.
all the
time. Friend in women's football.
Yes.
He's our friend, and Amadou Oba. They are friends in women's football. Those people, you're going to take them in women's football. They are always.
Oba, mom, the football is feature. Feature or buy. So
exactly. Yes.
Wow.
And we plan now, Mohamed Sinara into it.
Of course.
Also be 100%. Yes.
Of course.
We'll take you out from women's male football and then bring you into women's football.
To women's football. Well, viewers, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back here with your favorite program, the Football House Update. My name is Mariama Vuja, and I want to say a special thank you to my cousin for putting my makeup together, and of course my hair, and you know, thank you very much. And of course we'll be back here. My name is Mariama Vuja. Have a fantastic day and keep playing football.